full challenge, timatanga, the challenge to reach for the sky and to climb the highest peaks. And joining me in commentary tonight, and it's great to have him back in New Zealand, former All Black halfback Justin Marshall. Justin, what a great occasion. Very stirring, isn't it?
Oh, very stirring. And look at the shots. There you see the passion, everything that Maori rugby is all about. And the game hasn't even kicked off yet. You can feel the tension, you can feel the vibe around the ground, TJ. A vibe of unexpected, I guess, is what is England going to offer, but we certainly know what the Maori are going to play with, and that's that passion that they've already shown in the haka. Going to be providing a very fascinating encounter, I think.
Well, let's go sideline. England taking their time about getting ready, but Ian Smith, what a great night in your part of the world, Smithy.
Yeah, we turned it on weather-wise, Tony, and underfoot, you couldn't ask for much more. It's absolutely fantastic. Cool night, not really any breeze to speak of, so no advantage there. And Justin hit it on the head. The passion, the feeling for this game has not just been from the haka. It's been around these here parts, Tony, for a few weeks, I can assure you.
Another person who feels very honoured to be here is this man, Craig JOUBERT of South Africa. A special occasion and one of the best in the world to referee the match. And so match 3, the final match, the climax of the Sea Lord Centenary Series is underway. McLean Park and Napier, and it's England away to our left, and a first touch for their captain, Chris Robshaw, the man from Gloucester, and an early penalty, which is an area that the New Zealand Māori are going to have to be careful about, because one of the things that cost them valuable points last week and enabled the Irish to come back at them was the penalty count. And straight away, they're going to give England an opportunity to attack, and no real prizes for guessing how England are going to try and win this match, dominating up front, Justin.
Yeah, I'd like to put money on the fact that they'll probably look to drive this ball and just test the Maori up front straight away to see whether or not they can counter the England drive.
They go to the middle of the line out, and Brad Barrett, his first touch for a full England side. He's been playing for the England Saxons, the South African, and now they look to go wide, and here's their fullback, Dylan Armitage, that talented player. Played against the All Blacks a couple of years ago, and they are moving the ball, England. Everyone expected them to grunt it up front, but they are really looking to make a statement. Charlie Hodgson moves it on to Stephen Armitage. Barrett again, having to make the tackle, Hayden Triggs. Danny Kerr, live wire halfback, gets it away to his captain, Robshaw. There again, they're winning quick ball, and they're prepared to move it. Hodgson, they're up offside, the Māori. And England will try and cash in here. Now it's centre Matthew Tate, having to make a lot of tackles early on, the New Zealand Māori, and they'll come back for the penalty.
Previous ruck, number 10.
And the man that they've got is Stephen Brett, who flew up out of the line. And so Charlie Hodgson's going to get an early shot at goal. And some ominous signs there, really.
Very much so. I'm very pleased that they proved me wrong. England are going to play an expansive game, and I think it suits the way that they play. Look at the fend from Armitage, a brilliant step, a great covering tackle from Maitland, but they're looking very ominous with ball in hand. Barrett made it a good initial charge, and as we can see, Stephen Brett just didn't make it back, and he's adjudged to be offside, but good movement. Charlie Hodgson feeding his centres early. England are here to play. Great.
And over it goes from Charlie Hodgson. I rather think that the man who was caught offside was in fact Dwayne Sweeney. He said 10, but it looked like Sweeney was the man who came up. But Hodgson, who has scored over 250 points for England, no problem with a goal from that range, and England lead by 3-0.
Well, the Māori started very quickly in both their previous encounters against the Barbarians and, of course, Ireland. They went out to early leads here, but they've felt the brunt of England, who have come here.
Armitage underneath the ball from the kickoff. He's an interesting character, Dylan Armitage. Looked a very good prospect when he first played for the England side. They've got a couple of good fullbacks. Ben Foden on the reserve bench. Now maybe a chance for the Māori to bring it back at them. A high kick from Sean Maitland. And chasing up the middle after it is the captain, Liam Messon. But England have it again. Kerr quickly to the short side. Off to Phil Dowson, the man from Northampton, man who many people think should be the test number 8 for England. Robshaw on the 10-metre mark. Now Kerr to the short side. They're passing flat on the gain line, England, and making progress. Armitage again, proving a real handful in the early stages. Sweeney made the tackle, but they're on the back foot. Getting close to the touchline on the far side, but they've kept it in. And out it goes again. Hodgson moving it on. Now Tate, Strettle, the right winger, coming in field. Now they'll look to switch it, so they're building the phases. And at the moment, all the Māori have had to do in this game is tackle and tackle. And now they have to beat the retreat as Charlie Hodgson kicks into some space. And Robbie Robinson coming across. That's gone into touch, is it? England claiming a try. It's a try. Well, the crowd on the far side aren't happy. Armitage the try. I think the England players, well, they just kept playing the whistle. The Māori thought the ball had gone out. So this is a great start.
Fantastic start. Excellent attack from England. We're going to go to the end of this, and it looked like it was drifting towards the touchline and was going to roll out. Now, was Ashton's foot out of play as he towed that ball on? Definitely, I don't think the ball went out. I think the ball stayed in play, but if he was on the outside of the touchline when he kicked it, then the ball should be adjudged to be out. He's kept his foot in.
Oh, that is unbelievable. That is unbelievable. Stefan Armitage, the brother of the fullback. The crowd are booing, but...
No, that's a legitimate try. He's done amazingly well with the Football World Cup on at the moment. And England wearing white. They're using the skills that New Zealand have been showing of late. Fantastic work and a well-deserved try.
And Hodgson from wide out, he was knocking them over from all over the place in the pre-match, and he's converted that one. So Stefan Armitage, the brother of fullback Dylan Armitage, gets the try, and England out to a 10-0 lead.
Well, he's one of the big name players on this English side, isn't he, Charlie Hodgson? That's brilliant play. They'll remember that try for a long, long time here at McLean Park. Liam Messing pointing at the line, but to no avail. And that is a brilliant start from Hodgson, who's starting to run this game already.
It's also a brilliant piece of officiating from the man on the far side, Bryce Lawrence it was. And here's Armitage. He's rated a real tough customer at number 7. He's a solid player, but the Māori have got a turnover, and at last they might get an opportunity to do something with the ball. Putting the kick ahead is Aaron Smith. Going back is Kerr. Awkward bounce. Gears after it, and he's got him, but manages to get the way. And here comes Dylan Armitage again. Barrett gets rid of it. England playing with so much confidence. Tate kicks for the far side, and Messam back. He's got it away to Robbie Robinson, and that's gone off the side of the boot. All England at the moment.
Absolutely all England, and the Māori got the turnover and they decided to put the kick in. Smith put the kick, and I think they had an opportunity perhaps just to keep the ball in hand because they haven't featured with the ball yet. But England showing so much ambition. Kerr offloaded, Armitage offloaded, Barrett off the floor. They certainly aren't here to make up the numbers and kick and play the traditional game that we expected them to, and they're looking very ominous in attack.
Well, Smithy, I think they're taking everyone by surprise here.
Yeah, well, I noticed talking to Martin Johnson, he's a pretty uncompromising man at the best of times. He's got a New Zealand background, of course. He's married to a New Zealand girl. He's based himself not far from here in the King Country, and I sensed talking to him before the game that they're here to spoil a party.
Well, such a big occasion. The Māori get the ball at the line out, so that's a real bonus. Stephen Brett, though, opts to kick away downfield, looking for some field position, just try and settle things down. Dylan Armitage, who received a bit of attention a moment or so ago, puts the ball out. But that's an encouraging sign. Hayden Triggs getting up in the line out.
A good steal from the Māori. They need to get themselves in the game. When a game starts like this as a player, what you need to do now is get yourself some contact, get ball in hand, string some phases together, even if it doesn't result in points.
Well, Triggs has done it again. He's been one of the best players. That was a forward pass, though. Liam Messam trying to bust his way through the defence, but the little things going wrong as well as one or two of the big things so far. And we'll have the first scrum of the game.
It was a good option. What they're trying to do there is just get between Danny Kerr and the first defender, Charlie Hodgson, with the number 8 with a short line out was off the back. It was just slightly forward, however, but England get more possession. The possession stats are already 76-24 in their favour, so they've got the majority of the ball.
Quite a big blind here, Justin, but they're mainly lined out to the right. So they have an option to go left if need be.
And Hodgson very good, Smithy, at the cross kick. It's something that he's does very well in the UK. So that'll be something they might look to do to keep the Maori honest on defence.
Well, Clint Newland, he was warned, put the hand up, but he didn't do it. So Newland playing on the loose head side tonight. We're more accustomed to seeing him as a tight head. He's up against a very tough customer in Paul Doran-Jones, who we mentioned the fact that Martin Johnson played for King Country. Well, Paul Doran-Jones, the England tight head, he did as well. That's on the other side of the scrum. But it was Newland who was penalised.
So no breeze at all tonight. Good kicking conditions, and Hodgson right on target from a very difficult one sideline. This one around 40 metres.
He's struck that well. Hits it very high and over it goes. So great exhibition of goal kicking early on from Charlie Hodgson. And it's 13-0. Well, the atmosphere that was electric before the game just quietened down a wee bit here. Stephen Brett stabs the restart long, and claiming it as Stefan Armitage. And nuggety looking flanker he is. And although they've rather lost control of that. And so the New Zealand Māori will get a line-out throw just out from the 22. Really need to get something together here.
Yep, they do. They need to win this line-out ball. Imperative that they do that, and then they need to, as we've already alluded to, get some continuity. Just get themselves into the game. They have not featured, so they need to get ball in hand.
And, well, the target is Triggs, but they were onto him. But some obstruction there. The man in the bright red headgear is Dave Atwood. And I think he might have been one of the guilty parties there. Very hard to miss Atwood.
Yeah, he's a lump, isn't he? There he is.
201. He was the bloke who was cited for stamping when England played the Barbarians. But because of a technicality, oh no, in fact, what he's ruled here is those lifters getting across in front of the jumper. The England lifters. As I say, Atwood, he was cited and looked like he was going to miss out on the rest of the tour, but because of some sort of technicality or an administrative error, he got let off. And so here he is. But I guess that tells us that he's a no-nonsense sort of a player, and Martin Johnson rather likes him.
Well, everything's in his favour then, isn't it? He's got off, plus Johnson likes him.
Well, Jamie Joseph, he'll be liking Luke McAllister now because he's got his team on the board with the penalty. Nicely struck by McAllister. And after a rocky start, New Zealand Māori have points.
Well, it's because they were able to really get involved at the restart. Māori were able to compete for once, and they want to get hold of this one as well and secure this ball. Vitally important. They get back down and get some territory.
Kicking short, Charlie Hodgson, and they've got up after it, England. Māori trying to drive over it.
Falling over.
I think he's got Newland here.
Number 1, falling over the ball, preventing it coming out.
He drove over the man with the ball. I think it was Dowson, the number 8, and Clint Newland with blood gushing from his eyebrow.
Well, look at that. He's got a cut just on his brow there. They'll patch that up and he'll be back out. I would imagine he'll be leaving the field immediately to get that sort too. But when you get points, you don't want to concede, and you can see him here. He goes in and he just folds the wrong way. What's happened there is, yes, he's tackled the player and he's on the right side as he's hit the ground, but the weight of his pack that comes in behind him looking for the turnover knocked him onto the wrong side.
Well, he leaves the field as Charlie Hodgson looks to restore the advantage. Another high kick, and this one's off the post. And Hayden Triggs tidies it up. McAllister gets it away to Robbie Robinson. Not great following up from England, and now a chance to break out. Here's McAllister. Back in field to Carl Lowe. And now the crowd finds its voice. Opportunity now. Big pass across field to Jose Gear. Bumps off Strettle. Still going Gear. Still going. Oh, what a wonderful try. Jose Gear is the man of the moment for this team, and he has got his team back with a vengeance.
Fantastic try from Jose Gear. Well, I thought he should have given the pass. He had pressure coming in at him. He opted not to, and he used strength. And look at the break here, the skill level. Messam, that's a brilliant pass. McAllister does the right thing. The support is there. They recycle the ball very, very well here. And when you see the ball being shifted, Stephen Brett does the right thing, because Armitage had come up to try and cut it off. I thought that pass needed to go, but he bumped off Tate. And look at the acceleration. And Tate is no slouch either in the fend. What a finish. That has lit this park up. Now, the atmosphere that was a bit dull before is certainly not like that now. But what is deceptive is how quick he is going, because Tate can move.
Actually, I thought the judgment was pretty good. The pass that he might have made to Latimer may just have been a tad forward. So he had better judgment to hold on to it there. But I'll tell you what, Tony, 100 years of Māori rugby, that'll be one of the ones they'll be talking about for the next 100. That was brilliant.
Well, everything that's good about it all wrapped up in that move. The support play, and Carl Lowe right in the thick of it. That's why he's in the team. McAllister from the sideline. A hush over the ground, bringing it back nicely. Oh, what a fine kick. Conversion of a beautiful try from Jose Gear, and after a bad start, New Zealand Māori have closed the gap up. It's 13-10.
Well, how quickly, Justin, a game can change, eh? It could have been 16-3. That kick had to hit the post, eh?
Yeah, absolutely, Smithy. And the Māori now need to capitalise on that, not concede now. And they've got a penalty, which is exactly what they needed, because they've conceded points when they've scored them. But we'll listen to what the ref has to say.
Yeah, 11.
Yeah, Chris Ashton, the winger, just not getting his time right. This young fellow here was one of the stars of the win in the test in Sydney, the former Wigan League man.
Yeah, he was voted the English Premiership Player of the Season. He had a fantastic year for the Northampton Saints. To see Maitland go up, he's only just checked them, but you can't check somebody in the air. Once they leave their feet, you've got to let them wait for him to get down.
Well, she could be a prop with an innocent face like that. Well, the Māori have it, and this time trying to bring Maitland in. Untidy, but they've managed to regain control of it, and there it is for Aaron Smith. Away it goes. Brett this time looking to kick, get the ball in behind Dylan Armitage, and going back towards the goal line, and he'll have an easy dot down. In fact, he doesn't want that to go any further. Oh, boy. They'll have to come all the way back. That just travelled and travelled. That bit damp, that surface, Smithy, and the ball's skidding over it.
Yeah, it's cut, the grass is cut very short, and it did actually just skid across the surface. So something they've got to be a little bit careful of, both kicking sides. But apart from his miss where he hit the post, Charlie Hodgson has just been sublime with his touch so far. Not much in it, but clever play. He's had a good start to the game, Dylan Armitage.
Yeah, brilliant. Look at this for a bit of comedy. Between the legs, used to play that as a child. He found a funny side of it, Dylan Armitage, but he started well as well. Obviously, he's been ousted from his fullback position. We see him here, and he's got a point to prove. He's been left out of the test side by Foden, so he'll be keen, and he started very well for England.
Of course, Bronson Murray in the headgear on this side of the scrum, Tony.
Yes, with the blood bin for
there's no point
Clint Newland.
Try to put it in. Bring it off the slipping.
There is Bronson Murray. Dylan Armitage, actually born, he and his brother both born in Trinidad, and grew up in France, but he got overlooked for a French age group team, didn't like that very much, and headed over to England. And obviously things have gone better for him. Bit of a United Nations, this England side. A couple of Trinidad-born, a South African, there's a New Zealander in the subs, there's an Irish-born player, all wearing the red rose of England.
Touch, pause, engage. Waiting on!
And, well, not good work there from Danny Kerr. It's been pinched by Aaron Smith. And off goes Stephen Brett for the Māori. Looking to link up. He gets it away to Liam Messam. Can he get there? Skidding over. I think he'll go upstairs here. Well, brilliantly done by Aaron Smith. Messam's confident he scored here.
Ben, you're in the frame. Try, no try.
Check your footage. Try, no try.
Well, he looks confident, Messam. He's got a smile on his face. He thinks that he's got there. I think momentum definitely slid him across without a double movement. It's just about whether or not he went into touch.
Oh, he's got a foot on the line. No, that's the English player with a foot on the line.
Nowhere near. That's a fair try. That's brilliant. Now, that is, Tony, the advantage of a slightly slippery surface.
Craig, you may award the try.
Thanks, mate.
Yes, it was Charlie Hodgson's feet in touch. And I'm afraid there, Danny Kerr, guilty of not living up to his name, Justin.
Yeah, he didn't take care of the back of the scrum, TJ. Very nice. He's been working on that pun since we started. But a very powerful English scrum, and they were marching forward, but the ball, unfortunately, you see here, just pops out the side. Smith does extremely well, but what I like about Brett here is how composed he is. He's turned Hodgson inside out. He's got 3 players around him, but he just bided his time and found Messam, who finished extremely well. He was done a little bit short of the line, but his momentum carried him over. But what an explosion from the Maoris in the last 10 minutes. They've just spun the game on its head. That's what it's all about, isn't it? It's fantastic.
Well, they're in front now, and Luke McAllister can put them further in front. I think really the villain of the piece, not so much Danny Kerr, Phil Dowson.
Yep.
I think Kerr was expecting the ball to be flicked away from the number 8. It never came. And McAllister straight down the middle.
Yeah, I think you're dead right, Tony. I think you're right. The scrum was moving forward. He thought that he'd had it under control, just marching forward. They were going to go left. He was going to be the first receiver. But in the end, it was Aaron Smith. Great vision here. And this is the sign of a side that has enjoyed themselves together over the last couple of weeks. And the way they've been patient in attack, making good decisions, good options under pressure.
Hayden Triggs has taken the kickoff down, which is what they needed. And it'll be McAllister who thumps it away downfield. Well, how are England going to respond to this? They started so confidently. And just a little slip there from Armitage. There, though, for Kerr. Off to Hodgson, to Barrett now. They were offside. Ben Afiaki making the tackle. Now, Stephen Armitage. He's a nuggety-looking player, isn't he? Chunky open side flanker, not like his brother, who's waiting for the ball here. Matthew Tate taking it in. Now Armitage has to go and clean out. Driving through Latimer. Well, he was happy with that, Craig Joubert, but now he wants to take them back to the offside.
Thank you.
Getting a bit of jip from the crowd here, Craig.
Yeah, he's going back to the original penalty. England, when they started, what was very evident about what they were doing was they're recycling the ball. It was super quick. The Maori now are slowing it down a little bit more, so England are slightly more static and not making as many inroads and breaking as many tackles, but they do look good with ball in hand.
Clearly, I want the back line to take a step further back. Right.
As we hear the referees just mentioning there, it's borderline, but as Mr. Joubert has just said, if you're being penalised twice, 3 times like they already have, and he's mentioned to Messam, what Messam needs to do now to his players is say, boys, take a metre, half a metre, and stop conceding these points and penalties.
That's all it is. It's only half a metre, but it's getting them in front of the hindmost feet as Billy Bush looks on.
What money to drive here, Justin? Here's your drive, I think.
Yes, I think so, Smithy. I'm already down, so hopefully we'll get it right this time.
Well, they go to the front, and Rob Shaw. Well, the initial counter from Ramadi was good, but England have it in the van now. Right in the back. Haven't been able to advance. And Liam Messam saying, come on. Eventually coming out and untidily. So, well, they tried the drive. It didn't work. This is where they'll be dangerous. Kerr. Waiting for it is Jeff Tarling. Another man from Leicester. Now Doran Jones, the tight head prop. Flicked up to Rob Shaw. And he looks a strong mover too. Edging ahead. Now Charlie Hodgson looking for a runner. It's Barrett. Oh, great tackle made by Ben Afiaki. Brad Barrett won't mind that. Raised in South Africa. He'll have had plenty of big hits before. Atwood now. And they go to Tate, moving it wide. Strettle, oh, good tackle from Corey Flynn this time. Now Shooter, the hooker. Good name for a hooker, that. Now Charlie Hodgson, ducking, weaving, not advancing, and now it's been lost. Oh, he said it didn't go forward. That one did. Well, that is fantastic defence from the Māori. And Hayden Triggs, I think, has copped a blow. just getting a bit willing too.
Lost forward.
Yeah, good counter defence there by the Maori. They did very well. Awhiaki started it with his hit. He stopped the momentum. He did very well. Hodgson here, we see, take it to the line. Recycles the ball quickly. You can see what Keir was trying to do. He was trying to get rid of it very fast from that breakdown as they maybe had an opportunity, but the Maori defence just rushed up, forced the error.
Oh, you can see there why the crowd were booing. Armitage just bouncing the ball off Dwayne Sweeney's head there.
Pretty harmless stuff, Tony. I think the Maori side could take as much out of that defensive effort there, especially from the line out as well as their 2 tries. That was really encouraging.
Engage.
Well, they're on scraps of possession and they're in front, which says something about the way they play the game. Robbie Robinson puts it away downfield, and he's found a lot of open space, and Maitland is tearing after this and booting it into the back of the stand as Armitage. Well, there's a different feel about the game, and again we see that deceptive pace of Maitland on the chase.
Yeah, well, if you watch him off the ball, here he sees it's not going to go out, and he just, a good kick is always backed up by a good chase.
And they've got it too, and here's Maitland again in the action. They are the aces, the 2 wingers for the New Zealand Māori. Now they go to Latimer, on to Sweeney, and he's a very good runner. Couldn't quite get the pass away. They had a brief overlap there. Now Robinson, ball's been knocked away by England, and it'll be a scrum. But they are really starting to threaten now.
Wow, yes they are, and if it wasn't for a hand, a stray hand there, I think it's the New Zealand Maori ball. They could have gone in again. Good attack. The Maori are obviously targeting the tail of the line out as a place to attack. They've gone there 3 or 4 times. We saw the forward pass early. There they get it right. They've made good yards. A good run from Sweeney, shows an outside fend. And here they had a little overlap. If that had gone, it was very timely by Strettle, wasn't it? He just got himself, he defended very well because he got himself on the outside of the ball, so he cut off the pass.
Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage.
Well, Jose Gear standing out in the back line, and they've got it. Messam, away it goes to Smith, to Gear, trying to bump off his man, but it's Barrett. Good solid tackle. They've got it. Good field position.
Onside, 8 black.
So Smith, who's made a lively start, finds Flynn. Now they come back the other way to Messam. Shape to pass, driving ahead. Quick ball, off it goes to Brett. Little stab kick through, dangerous. Gear!
No call.
Just slipping through the fingertips.
It was brilliant by Brett, absolutely brilliant. He took the ball to the line very well. He noticed that there was nothing in behind. Luke McAllister, I thought, was the one who was going to get there first, but Gear came from the outside. McAllister was slightly blocked. I think he was complaining about being obstructed. But Jose Gear, his speed, he's a big man and he's so deceptively quick. When you see him running here and, you know, in the open, he just makes the ground up so quickly. His stride length, he gets to the ball so fast.
I think the other thing too, Smithy, is now that the New Zealand Māori are getting some ball, you're seeing England just struggling a little bit with the pace of the game. When they're in control, not a problem.
Yeah, I think that's very evident, Tony, and I'm not sure the Māori are going to let up. I think they've been preparing for this one the whole time, and they knew they were going to get a good surface and knew they wanted to play it at a great rate of knots. And England, well, are going to be asked the question. The first 10 minutes, they were fine. They're starting to breathe in some very deep ones now. And Jose Aguirre, well, you'd have backed him to get that, wouldn't you? Because it's just been such a golden period for him. But here's a big chance for a good Maori scrum.
Touch. Pause. Engage.
England looking to drive the ball away. The scrum really disintegrating, and penalty. So, well, England will look to drive from anywhere on the field if they can get a penalty from it. And Clint Newland, not one to take a backward step.
That was a good scrum from England. I think Awhiaki was really struggling there, as we can see. Doran Jones, he's just gone straight in, and he's just,
blood substitution.
his momentum is moving forward as Awhiaki has to.
Well, I think it's Newland, really. Look at the determination there.
Time is off. Time is off.
Paul Doran Jones.
Just hold him.
They're going for Newland again now.
Yeah, it is Newland. Yep.
Just worried about the fact that he called substitution there. I'm sure he meant blood bin.
Time on.
The referee. But, he did call substitution. We'll just keep an eye on that.
Oh, that one's gone over the back, and Liam Messon driving forward. Danny Kerr copped an elbow as he tried to tackle him. Now they get it away. Brett, nice pass it was from Smith too. Chance to get it wide, although Sweeney opts to take the tackle. England trying to get over it. Yeah, he held on, Sweeney.
Number 7, arriving player, holding on.
Yeah, good work from Stefan Armitage.
Very good player, Stefan Armitage. Seen a lot of him in the Premiership, and for mine, how he's not in the Test side, I'm not sure. Like, Lewis Moody's a fantastic player, extremely resilient and very tough. But Stefan Armitage, he just gets himself around the field, and as you've seen already, he's also not afraid to carry the ball. Gives the England team a bit more balance, since they usually carry such a hefty tight 5, to have a back rower that can use the ball and carry the ball. But look at him there, he's so low to the ground, and he's won the penalty for his team, an important one as well.
England win it from the line-out. They haven't had guaranteed line-out success tonight. Now a high one into the night sky. Maitland underneath it, takes it nicely. Big test. And this young fella, we've talked so much about gear, but Maitland has also been good. And he's just belted that down the field for all it's worth. Well, Ashton decides to bring it out, and he's going to have a run, and he runs into the biggest man on the field, just about, and I've lost the ball. Well, he's got that horribly wrong. Now Hayden Triggs, they decide to bring it open, and Jared Hoyata didn't get him at the first go either. Now a chance away to the left, maybe. Stephen Brett thought he might kick. Now he needs to let it go. It's there for Smith. Off it goes to Latimer. Puts the shoulder down. Getting over the ball was Armitage. No, that time he didn't release him before he went for the ball.
Get up on your feet, 7, after you've made the tackle. Okay, move aside. 7, fully release, get to your feet before you play the ball.
Get a bit testy down there too, Smithy.
All right.
Yeah, there's a bit of feeling, and that's the way it should be as well. Means so much to particularly the team in black, but as we said before, the English side are in the mood for a party of their own. So was Armitage penalised there for not releasing fully before he got to his feet and started to play the ball.
Wow.
Well, that's a marginal call, Justin.
Very marginal. It looked like he did. Looked like the Maori player went to ground and he was straight over top of the ball. But they must be frustrated, England, TJ, because they have all the possession, all the territory. They have dominant ruck ball, and yet they find themselves behind on the scoreboard. So they must be a bit bemused. They must be wondering how they've found themselves in this position, and they could concede another 3 now. And they've dominated, you know, nearly every aspect of the game.
Well, stats have closed up just a little. It was blowing out to about 80-20 early on. They've got it back to about 60-40. And McAllister, he's struck it well so far. In fact, he's looked good in this series, Luke McAllister. And that one, is it on target? It's just away to the right. Had the distance, just pushed it a bit. You look on the bench there. Willie Ripia, one of the subs. Hodgson putting it deep and taking it and copping a real thump there was Jared Hoyata. But Bronson Murray's got back, tidied it up. Well, they're on the back foot. Danny Kerr, slippery customer at halfback, takes the tap, moves it on to Hodgson. Almost intercepted there by Sweeney, but Armitage has got it away now to Strettle. Trying to step back in field. Hoyata makes the tackle. Trying to rip the ball off him, couldn't do so. Now they go to Dave Flatman, a man from Bath. Now Parling. Kerr. Off it goes, moving on to it, Hodgson, and then Big Atwood crunching it up. Kerr again. Now it's Ashton with a bit of a bandage around his head. He spilled a bit of blood here tonight. Only calling for a penalty there, not getting it. And loose ball, but untidy, but England have it back. Well, 7 phases. They haven't made a lot of progress. Parling up on him quickly. Now Flatman. So they're recycling. They haven't been able to penetrate yet. Barrett has other ideas. Ridden to the ground by McAllister, who gets up and drives over the ball. Now they've picked it up. And Latimer there over the ball. Well, claiming a penalty here. Oh.
Going forward. White going forward, tackle.
Well, he's not one to panic, Craig Joubert. The crowd have been giving him a bit of jip, but he's getting plenty of advice from the players too. They were calling for a penalty, but he was quite satisfied that the ball was being driven forward.
He's screaming at me again. All right.
Yep, well, he's made it clear there that he doesn't want anybody telling him how to referee the game. At least the players know where they stand. Great counter ruck by the Maori here. Armitage picks the ball up, and we can see Latimer there. He is over the ball, he is on his feet, and Armitage is holding on. So they can feel a little bit aggrieved, but it was quite contentious, I guess. He came in as a second player, and maybe Armitage didn't have time to release the ball, but good discipline from the Maori. You could just hear in the background of the referee's mic someone screaming on the Maori team, no penalties, no penalties, and this is where they've been conceding. So that was much better from them. They showed much better discipline, Smithy.
Well, they maybe got a lucky penalty a moment or so ago. We picked out that time, I think, unlucky not to get it, so it's evened itself out. Swings and roundabouts. And about 7 minutes to play. Well, you're going to have to defend this strong England scrum.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine, yes.
It'll be interesting whether, Smithy, whether that's a permanent change with Clint Newland. He may have gone off for some stitches.
Yeah, he has. Went underneath for the doctor, Tony, so it might take a little bit of time, maybe after half-time now.
Well, England have it. The front rows have come up. And he's blown.
Pulling out, Black. Standing up and pulling out of the scrum.
Well, they're coming under real pressure now, as we thought they would. Ben Afiaki, who, after pretty ordinary scrummaging performance in Whangarei, has done well so far.
Go again, Tony. They're going to go again.
Yeah, it's good weight from the English pack, and they're obviously feeling very confident. No, they've changed their minds somehow. They were able to do that. I'm not quite sure how that works, but they've decided to take the three. There we go. Mr. Joubert explained that they've made the decision, and he had already pointed to the poles.
Yeah, someone said we'll have a shot, someone else said we'll have a scrum, and so I think they'll rather rue the chance. I think they had a great opportunity to attack. The scrum would have been a great option, but someone had already said we'll have a shot at goal, and so that's what he's made them do.
Good, thanks.
And Charlie Hodgson, from very handy range, will get a chance to close it up to 1 point, which he does.
Well, that was always going to be the case in this game, wasn't it, Smithy? That the Maori couldn't afford to concede set-piece territory deep in their own half. Scrums 5-10 metres out, or line-outs close where England can maul. That's really the first time they've been under hammer, though, I guess.
That's why they'll really look back at that decision on Latimer. They'll look at that many a time.
Yeah.
So the ball goes nice and high for the chase, and the Māori have got it back, so an opportunity to hit straight back, and quick hands through the back line too. Sweeney moves it on to Messam, gets it now, pops the pass nicely to Maitland, and he makes ground, as he always seems to do, but he's lost the handle on it, and picked up by Dave Flatman, big 120-kilogram prop, and Charlie Hodgson will boot it away. Hayden Triggs going back. Robbie Robinson's there, and he'll run it back at them. Robbie Robinson. And good tackle made too by Atwood. They've got it, though. McAllister floating the pass wide. And Sweeney, well, he tried to stab a little kick through, and they've lost possession. Already have it.
No advantage, lost forward by White.
Well, they just a little bit at 6s and 7s there as they moved the ball wide. Nothing really on. And they've got a reasonable result out of it, I suppose.
Yeah, I think so. He made the right decision. It was a beautiful tip on there. This is the earlier break from Messam. Watch him free the ball there. Maori looking to keep it alive. Maitland shows great strength. And then, unfortunately, just gets the ball ripped away. But there was nothing else on for Sweeney. He possibly made the right decision, just didn't execute it as well as what he would have liked, but they have still got the ball.
Yeah, it was Chris Robshaw in 6, the captain, who knocked it on.
Look, I'm in control, leave it to me.
Just laying down the law a bit, Craig Joubert. It is a sign of the modern game. The referees constantly being assisted. You never did it, of course, Justin, did you?
No, not like George Gregan does.
Oh, he was a shocker.
Or did.
Oh, he's got them now for collapsing it.
Not your ball. Penalty white, number 3.
How many scrum penalties is that? I'm sure someone in the truck will be able to tell us, but every time it seems now, so the Māori have just got to avoid these like the plague.
Look, it's not acceptable to either stand up or to go down instead of going backwards. Sort it out.
Up, down or backwards, only one of them is a legal option.
They don't get, they haven't got a lot else they can do, I don't think. Especially when you're going backwards. You want to stand up, or you've got to try and stop yourself from going backwards, which means they need to get some momentum. You see the replay. They've really just gone straight down there. Yeah, as he indicates, the referee.
Well, of course, England knows now they'll be happy to have as many scrums in this game as they can possibly have. I'd rather think that Bryce Lawrence might have had something to do with that call too. Here's George Shooter, 22 full caps, and finds Parling. Good counter drive again from the Māori, and they're holding them up well and truly. And someone in there's got his hands on it. You see Liam Messam reaching through there. They could get a turnover here. Oh no, England have managed to smuggle it back, but they've lost ground. Not quite sure how they've managed to. Well, now he's got a penalty, and I think they were well and truly held up. But anyway, on play goes, and Kerr sniping! Danny Kerr! Well, they were going backwards at the maul. They got a penalty out of it somehow, and this fella here is like greased lightning, and he's put England back in front.
Absolutely the biggest strength in Danny Kerr's game. He likes to take these opportunities, catch the opposition when they're unawares, and that's definitely what he did on this occasion. It was a penalty. You can see him go here, and look at the acceleration through the gap. He just gets a little bit of a push to give himself momentum to the line, but it is what he's very good at. And he's very difficult to stop when you're having to get back 10 metres so that you don't get penalised. You're on the back foot already when someone's running at you at that pace. He's taken the chance very well, Danny Kerr.
They had one chance, didn't they? And that was Jared Hoata, but he was very low to the ground, and the big lock, as you say, was just on the retreat somewhat. So he wasn't able to grab hold of him, but that was the one defensive chance they had. Hodgson will nail that. England have the lead, Tony.
Yes, it's now a lead of 23-17 with Charlie Hodgson knocking over an easy conversion. This was the only chance they had was Jared Hoata. He was the only man legally entitled to make the tackle, and he couldn't do it. So nicely done by Danny Kerr. Good sevens player. England haven't controlled that. Hoata's got it and drives ahead for the New Zealand Māori. So they get one last chance at the end of the first half. Not a great pass, and Sweeney had to go back for it. And now he'll need some support as he goes into the tackle. England will just try and D up. They'll look to get it wide. Some numbers out here too. Gia moves it on. Here's Hayden Triggs and Corey Flynn stampeding down the left wing. Good clean out from the Māori. Gia gets it away to Brett. Now out to McAllister. Floating the pass. Intercept. And Charlie Hodgson, Robbie Robinson comes at him, gets it away, and Chris Ashton goes in for the try. Well, nicely read by Hodgson, and that is a real blow on half-time struck by England.
Well, he had to do it because it was on for the Māori on the outside. He can't really blame the passer because they needed to get the ball to the outside channel because they had an opportunity. So that is why when you see an intercept, it's because the players read that defensively they are slightly short, as they are here. Hodgson just decides he's going to come up. Look at the Māori players that were on the outside. So the opportunity was there. The best thing about it, when I initially saw it, was that it was Charlie Hodgson. He's not renowned for his speed. The problem for the Māori was the person who loomed up on his outside to support him is very quick in Ashton. Hodgson, he was always going to be mowed down by Robinson, but he does very well, Smithy, to find Ashton, and that's a real blow to the Māori just on half-time.
Not now, but...
Well, they're delighted about that. As I say, this is really their test match. I think I'd say is that the floated pass, the option, but there was no one home at the back. A chip kick could have caused mayhem, but they opted for the pass. And Ashton, with blood coming out of his eyebrow, goes off at half-time, having just scored the try. So a couple of real late blows struck by England. First, Danny Kerr. Interesting point there from Jamie Joseph. Feels that maybe some of the attention at scrum time may be a little unwarranted. I think they did cop a couple of tough ones, but they might have gained a couple as well. 28-17. Crowd in good voice at half-time. And it'll be England to start the second half. Charlie Hodgson, who's controlled the game for England very nicely. So 40 minutes left in the Sea Lord Centenary Series. It's been great so far with 2 wins for the New Zealand Māori out of 2. But that record under real threat here from this England side, with many of these England players. Well, that's been ruled to have been carried back into the 22. It's gone out on the full, so not a great start there. But many of these England players, the likes of Dowson, Atwood, Kerr, Armitage, all vying for places in the England side, come here with plenty of purpose and plenty of endeavour. Atwood drifting towards the back of the line out. They've gone to the middle and parling. And trying to drive it away. The line out drive hasn't really worked all that well so far. England, they were held up quite well a couple of times. Bit unlucky, Māori not to get turnovers. And again, they're not really advancing it. But Craig Joubert allowing England to drive ahead now.
Fine, same more.
Now they've been stopped. It's there for England.
White. Number 1, sealing off.
Well, he's got Dave Flatman there. Oh, I think they've defended that drive pretty well, Justin.
Chance here.
Yep. It might be on out wide. Robbie Robinson. And slips it away to Gear. Oh, nicely taken by Strettle. But the supporters there to drive it ahead. Now they've lost it. But a penalty against Matthew Tate. And looks like Charlie Hodgson might be in the wars over there, Smithy.
Well, I don't want to lose him because he has been a little general for them tonight. There's no doubt about it. He might just have copped a boot in the face during that tackle on Jose Gear, or I think it was purely accidental. But here's a chance now for some early points for the Murray, and they really do need to score next.
Yeah, they really do need to get back in the game, Smithy. They need to play with some ambition, which they showed initiative there by taking the quick tap. Let's see if they can win their line-out ball.
Well, they have. Hoyata tidies it up. And away it goes to Stephen Brett. And just a chance there to put Luke McAllister into the gap. Breaks a couple of tackles. And here it comes for Smith. Off to Brett. They'll look to get it wide to Gear. Jose Gear! Oh, he's unbelievable! They're just unstoppable force at the moment. And he split them open. Every time he touches the ball, something happens.
Absolutely, and it's exactly what the Maori needed. It was a great charge, initial hit up from McAllister. He showed strength. There's good line-out ball here. They won it well. McAllister, look at that. He bumps off 2 players, pushes someone to the ground. England have to commit players to him to get him down. The ball gets passed here to Jose Gear. You didn't think there was a lot on. There's half a gap for him. And it was Ashton who turned his back. Tate was on his inside. And again, Jose Gear has just done him for gas. Absolute acceleration.
Yeah, well, absolutely right. And he just stepped off his right foot there. They did have numbers out wide, the Murray side, but there was a lot of questions being asked there amongst that English defence. The gap did seem way too wide. So they were caught on the right-hand side, and that is exactly the start. But what about the hit up from Luke McAllister? Talk about creating a gap. He made his own gap there, and they'll be happy with what they're seeing, I'm sure.
Well, a couple of interested spectators there. He's putting up a case, isn't he? And McAllister involved in the build-up. And they strike when they really needed to, right at the beginning of the second half. And that's narrowed the gap. A 7-pointer. Armitage, I think, thought he had him covered.
Yeah.
And he was there, and then he wasn't.
Then he was gone. Look at this from McAllister. Bang! He pushes Barrett away, who does not often get pushed off. And then again, the step, so powerful.
Up goes Hoyata. That's better from the kickoff. And Aaron Smith calling for it. And he's got it. Brett, well, hooking the kick into centre field and chasing up after this is Robbie Robinson. Misread at the back by Armitage. Now he's got it. And they drive him backwards, try and drive over the top of him too. But England regather their strength. It was good doubling back by England there. They were under pressure now. Hodgson looking for some space. And in the end, it sits up nicely. And Maitland decides to put it high. And he's done that pretty nicely too. Robbie Robinson goes up after it. And, well, Charlie Hodgson just let it go. I don't think he's well, Charlie Hodgson. I don't think he knows what's going on out there at the moment. And the Māori, well, they thought they had it. England have got it. Charlie Hodgson just out there at the moment doing the don't panic. But he doesn't look too flash. He and Armitage, complete miscommunication there. They're lucky to get away with it. Now the Māori counter-attack, counter-rucking. And they've got it, and it's Messam, the captain. Off he goes, Liam Messam. They will not want to concede turnover ball, England, because they could get badly burnt. Hayden Triggs now, chance to get it wide. All the numbers in the world. Gear, see you later. He's got a hat-trick.
Well, that's his easiest one of the night. Brett very unselfishly gave him a beautiful pass just to send him in and then block Tate extremely well from getting anywhere near Gear, even though he would have made it. But the Māori did extremely well. They were aggressive right from when the kick was made. They managed eventually to turn the ball over. Messam broke. You can see here, look at the counter-ruck. You see Messam at the back. He's the one foraging. He juggles the ball, but he's very direct. That's what's impressed me about the Māori after halftime. They've been direct. Messam direct, McAllister direct. This was a pass that needed to be made. Look at that. Beautiful.
Oh, take a bow, Hayden Triggs.
He had to pick it up from behind him and then sent a lovely pass with English defence coming up at him.
Yeah, that's the one he'll be talking about at the bar tonight. Don't worry about that when they start celebrating this wonderful festival of rugby they've had, highlighted by this man, Jose Gear. Just unbelievable, scintillating form. What a luxury New Zealand rugby have out wide at the moment. And serious words going in there from Chris Robshaw about how they're going to stem this flow. This is a very dangerous time for England.
Well, the Māori have the lead back. It's 29-28. And Luke McAllister has a chance from wide out to make it a 3-point lead in front of this 16,000 crowd here. Trying to bring it back, just can't quite do it. So it's only a 1-point game.
Well, I think you've also got to compliment the coaching and the senior players in the Māori team, because they've obviously worked out that they needed to be more direct. They were starting to get quite lateral. They were playing into England's hands late in that second half here. Now, at the start of this half, they've become direct, and they look very dangerous. If they initially go forward hard, and we can see, yes, Hodgson isn't well. He's being replaced by Geraghty.
Yeah, 2 changes. Geraghty in 21, and also at hooker have replaced the test replacement, George Shooter, with Rob Webber in 16.
So Geraghty, first touch of the game for him is to kick off. Jared Hoyata goes back. And that's not a great pass from Hoyata to Brett. And to scoop for it. And eventually floats it out over the touchline. Yeah, Charlie Hodgson, he was all at 6s and 7s. I think things were a bit misty for him, and he's had to go. Geraghty is a good player. We saw him playing for England. He came on as a sub at Twickenham. I mean, he looked like the sort of player who might spark something.
Yeah, well, what he does well, Geraghty, and this is him here, sporting a beard. I haven't seen that from him before. Obviously a tour thing, is take the ball to the line. He will go hard at the line, and he will challenge the defence. And he's also got a great sort of little offload, so he'll be a threat.
Now they've got it through Atwood and Armitage, Geraghty, and getting all complicated. That went forward, surely. Yep. Yes, it did. Craig Joubert just taking his time about the call, but yeah, they're just a little bit intricate there.
Yeah, set plan move. Armitage, I think Armitage maybe was supposed to, when things worked well on the training field, continue his run so that Geraghty could come on his, what would be outside shoulder, but he just got stuck too early.
Pretty complicated for a bloke who's just got on the field, though, Justin. It's asking a fair bit.
It was. He had to get a quick offload away.
Get your binding up.
Well, this is the area where they just want to get it in and out. They don't want to get into a scrap at scrum time.
Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage.
And they've got it. And they get it out of there, and Messam fires it away to Stephen Brett. On it goes to McAllister, running onto it confidently and getting through the first tackle, and still going McAllister. Oh, what a great time to intercept for David Strettle. And now he's been caught, and England might have a chance to run this out. Straight up the middle goes Rob Shaw. Well, this match is taking the breath away, and now Rob Shaw splitting them with tackles. Now cutting back in field is Ashton. Off it goes to Geraghty now. Atwood pulls in a hard pass. Well, England turning defence into attack. Geraghty and sensing a chance out wide. Rob Shaw again. Māori trying to drive through and doing so pretty well too initially, but Danny Kerr has got it away. You can see Carl Lowe there over the ball out. Well done. Great work from the Hawke's Bay flanker. And they're not mucking around either. Here's Liam Messam, bumps off the first tackle, gets it away to Lowe, taken in a high tackle. He's let it go, felt he was falling there, Craig Joubert. Now Brett looking for a hole up the middle, gets it to Latimer, great support play. Now away to Robinson up in the line, frees it up for Gear, and just runs straight over the top of Strattley. Came at him again though. Māori need to get this back. Might have been helped there by an England boot kicking it through. Now England offside. I tell you, Strattle's just shown out a couple of times. He's marking a hot player, but he's made a couple of big plays. Now Robbie Robinson feeling in a bit of discomfort. He was clobbered there at the back of that ruck.
This is the other aspect of Jose Gear's game that you don't recognise. It's how strong he is as well. So look at this. Boomfa, he goes in to Strettle, basically gets rid of him. Thankfully for Strettle, what he does is get tangled up in Strettle's feet, so it actually eventually gets Jose Gear to ground, and then the counter ruck from England. But I digress on what I was saying about Jose Gear. He's so powerful as well, TJ. He's deceptively quick because of that long stride length and powerful, but he's also, you know, got the ability to drop the shoulder and make inroads through that sort of Jonah Lomu type sort of bump off, I guess you could call it.
Well, Jose Gear was product of Gisborne. I'm sure there'd be plenty. Ngāti Porou here tonight. They put out a call for them early on, and they were here in force. So plenty of support from up Poverty Bay and the coast. And they are seeing, well, not one of the most exciting players in New Zealand rugby. You'd have to say one of the most exciting players in world rugby at the moment, Jose Gear, as Latimer wins the ball at the front of the line out. Brett scoops it up nicely, gets the offload away, didn't go forward. Carl Lowe's there, coming more and more into the game. Lowe. Armitage trying to contest possession. Set up by Flynn. They go to Messam on the short side, bumping into two. Brad Barrett there making the tackle. He's had to do a lot of that tonight. Brett now, and they're just drifting up looking for cheap intercepts there, England, at the moment. Got one in the first half. Now Brett on for the little kick through here, and Robinson almost had that. Worth a crack. Yeah, it was worth a crack. That was the option he needed to take. They weren't really getting over the advantage line, the Maori, and England were coming up hard and fast. They're looking to look at that line there. It's a good English line. And Brett looks to just sort of find the space. You can see it there on your screen. There was space there, so the option was right. Unfortunately, it just hit a leg, but they will get the line out throw. I just wonder, Justin, with Jamie Joseph picking real speed in 6, 7 and 8. You mentioned, Tony, with Carl Lowe coming more and more into the game, whether this is starting to come to fruition, because they're not looking to slow the game down at any point, the New Zealand Maori side. England are trying to counter them with speed as well, but just that combination might just be a bonus for them. Well, you bet too, if the game gets too fast, England, there'll be a lot of injury breaks. It's a tactic they often use. Ball from the line out, it's untidy, and almost calamity for the New Zealand Māori there.
Lost forward from Black.
As Danny Kerr it was again. He's a pest.
He is. He does he's defending off the back of the tail of the line out there. Some scrum halves and certain defensive patterns will defend off the tail of the line out. He got a loose ball there, and actually Maitland did very well. He had to commit to the ball, otherwise there was nobody behind him. So even though he knocked it on, defensively he made a positive error.
Maitland just flexing the shoulder a little. There's the England backline. Barrett in the middle of shot. Geraghty.
Pause. Engage.
Away to the left. Māori looking to try and screw the scrum.
Use it.
And good work there from Aaron Smith. Gets one back, and he's
7 binding. 7.
He's got Tanira Latimer here for releasing the bind or not binding properly.
Don't run in 8. Step back. Yeah, I'll explain. So ball's out for everybody else, but 7 was offside before the ball was out. Yeah.
Fair enough. And so they'll go back, and I wonder what no, they're going to go for the line out. I thought maybe they might have a shot at goal, but of course Charlie Hodgson's gone now. Geraghty, what sort of a kicker is he, Justin?
Very dodgy. They won't be relying on him. He's a bit inconsistent. As we see Latimer here, he's definitely he's off the scrum. The rules are that you need to be bound by the shoulder, not by the arm. So it's a decent penalty.
Rather undid some good work there from Aaron Smith. And they go to the back, and Atwood, and driving up the middle is Parling. So England looking dangerous here. Here's Phil Dowson. Man, many believe is the best number 8 in England. And we're going to have to make a lot more tackles now. Kerr sweeps it away. Tate just ran straight into the defence, and he's been robbed of the ball. And that's Stephen Brett. And he's done it again. He did it against Ireland, and Robbie Robinson clears away. And Stephen Brett has got another steal, and now getting into a tangle with himself as Geraghty, and brilliantly keeping that in play on the far side. Not sure who that was for the New Zealand Māori, but he's turned it, he's booted it away downfield. I think it's Dwayne Sweeney. It was, and Armitage puts a long kick away and a touch well over the touchline. There's some lovely skill there from Dwayne Sweeney. But
look at this tackle.
Look at Brett.
In high, one man low. Sweeney lifts the leg, which puts Tate on the back foot, and then Brett targets him up high and rips the ball free. Excellent work.
Well, Brett's destroyed his reputation in this series because everyone said he couldn't defend, and he's tackled well, and he's got turnovers at the breakdown.
Mate, I think you're labelled with that as a 10. Everyone says that 10s can't tackle. They're proving it wrong in the modern day. Good on them as well.
Well, here he is back in the action again, Stephen Brett. And the Māori looking to swing the ball wide. In fact, McAllister puts a clever kick in behind the defence. Might just go a bit too far. And much relief there for David Straddle. It wasn't a bad kick, though, Justin.
No, it was a good option. I think that they recognise in England what they're trying to do now, because the Māori have had dominance in the second half, is they're trying to rush up and restrict them from getting in over their vantage line. So there is space in behind.
Well, Geraghty with the restart to Stephen Brett. Plenty of options available to him, and he decides to go to the air. This is going to come down just outside the 22. Armitage can't mark it, and Brett just held off, waited for him to take it. But England again showing they can get players back in defence, although now Kerr's been wrapped up by Luke McAllister. And he gets shunted out of the way. Now they might just try and grunt it out. And again, counter-rucking from the Māori, trying to rip it away. And I think they've got it. Yes, turnover. Well, there's just 1 point in it, but at the moment, it's England maybe who just looking a little shaky.
2 changes for the Māori too, with 25 minutes to go, 26 minutes to go. And we've got Ruki Tapuna in jersey 20. And also we got Dane Coles in 16 for Corey Flynn.
Well, planned change, I'd imagine, Smithy, as Corey Flynn salutes the crowd. I think Aaron Smith's had a tremendous game for the Māori at halfback. Justin?
He's been very impressive. He's dictated very well, and very good option taking. So,
but Tapuna's a clever player.
Yeah, I was going to say, so Tapuna needs to come on, and he needs to continue with the momentum that Smith's already started. He doesn't need to change the way that the Māori are playing. He just needs to go in there and be as efficient as what Smith has.
Te Puna having a bit of a joke there with Danny Kerr.
Well, they're about the same size, aren't they? So I think Danny Kerr will be pretty glad about that. He's not on the big side as a scrum half. Te Puna, he looks really keyed up. He'll be really excited about being out there in a big game like this.
Well, he played well in front of his home crowd in Rotorua last week. These days, of course, domiciled in Wellington, but he's a product of Rotorua Boys High School. Coming in with Chris Smiley getting injured. Now, there it is again. Well, they've managed to steady the scrum. Brett runs at the line, holds it up for McAllister. It's Sweeney scything through, in fact. Desperately hanging on as Atwood, but they're inside the 22. A chance to have a real go at them. And Te Puna swings the pass away. Nice flat ball to Messam right on the gain line. Danny Kerr being warned to roll away. Now Te Puna not sure where to go, and cut down by Atwood, but the ball's still there. Latimer has a glance one way then the other, and great tackle made on Dane Coles by his opposite number, Rob Webber. Welcome to the game. That's a stunning hit from Webber. The Wasp man stinging him, but they've still got it. And Afiaki sets it up on the 22. Te Puna have got numbers away to the right here. Coles gets it back to McAllister. Luke McAllister pops it up, close, but not over yet. England, I think, have got it. They have. And Danny Kerr wriggles away with it, puts it into touch, but all so close.
How did they foil that, England? They somehow managed to get their hands on the ball, let alone stop McAllister from scoring or a supporting player from scoring, as we see Flatman down. This was just a lovely little pass, and McAllister's acceleration. Danny Kerr goes low. It's Ashton that gets him, and he goes for the pop-up.
Early tackle.
To Te Puna, I think it was, possibly.
Have a look at the roll two of the big number 5 here. He just, well, someone drags out to Carl Lowe, which he took exception to, but Carl Lowe was trying his best to get in there, as he does. He's a great forager. Wow, look at that.
Oh,
smack.
Glad you retired, Justin?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah, we're going to have another injury break. One of the England players down, and you can bet your boots we'll see more and more of this as the game wears on.
And Martin Johnson emptying the bench as well, Tony, so we'll take stock of that, shall we? 19, 20 and 18 going on for England. So James Haskell, Ben Youngs and Dan Ward-Smith. Big moment for the boy born in Palmerston North.
Well, let's have a look at Jose Gear, because he has been devastating. This was his first. That's as good as anything we've seen all year. This was the second. They thought they had him covered. They weren't even close. Well, England have got a steal from the line-out while we've been watching that, and grateful to put the ball away into touch. But what a moment for Dan Ward-Smith. Dan Ward-Smith, born in Palmerston North, and who once played for New Zealand Māori cult side, but has been in England for a long time now, qualifies through the amount of time he's spent there. Would have played in the 2007 World Cup, but he got injured. And now he's on the field playing against the Māori. But here come the Māori and Dane Coles, and we know how good he is with ball in hand. And now it's a kick ahead and a race into the end goal, and getting back was Chris Ashton. Hayden Triggs there nearly pulled a rabbit out of the hat.
Well, they are looking ominous now. Like, they are very threatening, the Maori. That was created out of absolutely nothing. Brilliant little offload by Coles. But the game, look at the game. It's just absolutely on fire at the moment. This is brilliant stuff to watch.
Well, Garrity's just belted that away downfield. Robbie Robinson looking for a bit of space. And a bit easy at the back for Armitage. He's got a pretty good boot on him, although that hasn't gone into touch either. Maitland takes it, and they've assembled some numbers back here. Robinson decides to kick. That's not a great kick. Pretty much going straight up in the air, and missed the chase too. That's been charged. Armitage's kick, and now a really loose pass, and well, England just getting the wobbles here. They've gone back into their shell. They were so confident early on. Now they don't look quite so organised.
No, they don't. And what is very evident is that the Maori have now got parity at least, and perhaps dominant in the set piece. So England now need to create their own ball through other means, and that's counter-attack or turnovers.
Well, Hayata's got the ball from the line out. Brett just looking to pop it into a bit of space for his captain, but England closed the gap, and Dan Ward-Smith, one of the tacklers. Brett this time trying to kick through. That's bounced though, and Brad Barrett's got it. Now it's been lost forward. Just a little sniff of a chance there for England. The chip kick was on.
No penalty, no black defender.
But England, Brad Barrett couldn't snaffle, and he's been very solid, Barrett.
Yeah, very solid. As we see Brett here opting for the kick again, probably just doesn't get it the way he would like, and Geraghty charged it down and a knock on from Tate. But yes, he has been very, very solid. You know, England now need to get themselves into the game. They need to get the ruck ball that they did in the first half. Geraghty needs to hold on to it a bit more. I think England need to find themselves into the game.
He looks like a sort of an Icelandic explorer or something, doesn't he? Does Shane Geraghty with the beard and the shock of blonde hair. He's not a bad player, though, at all.
No, his biggest vice is his goal kicking. It keeps him out of teams.
Scrum's been a little bit better in the second half. That one was breaking up, but Liam Messham's managed to get it away. Now Brett moving it on. McAllister, Robinson all snatching at it just a little bit. And Brad Barrett kicks ahead. They'll come back for the knock on. Robbie Robinson just didn't pull it in again. All sorts of possibilities if he'd hung on to that one. On a knife edge, Smithy.
Well, the Māori are going to go to the bench here, though. I think Bronson Murray again was going to make his way onto the field, so he's had 3 cracks at trying to get out there and stay out there. And they've got Isaac Ross and Colin Burke poised too, you can see in the background there. So changes are plenty from Jamie Joseph. Maybe the 18-minute mark, 17-minute mark to go, fresh legs. Increase the pace again.
Well, it'll be Ben Youngs, one of the heroes of the win over Australia, to put it in. And this time it's England who are folding. Oh.
Binding on the arm. Binding on the arm.
OK. It's a binding one. It looked like England were on the back foot and had gone down, but you heard his explanation there.
That's my call, Liam. Back you go. Liam, back you go.
He's right. What he's saying to the referee is they didn't have the dominance then, but it was a technicality that they got pulled up on. So it is the right penalty. You cannot bind on the arm. You have to bind on the shoulder. So,
well, you know, Armitage is going to have a shot at goal. They don't trust Geraghty, obviously.
Gee, how can you make out it wasn't binding on the arm from that? That he was binding on the arm, I should say. It looks like he's
got him by the jersey there.
Yeah, he has.
They've gone down. But anyway, we're not props.
Can't get them all right. Glenn Jackson will experience that. Our guest today.
Yeah, that's going to be fun, isn't it? Glenn Jackson back in the country. He's going to be a referee. It's fantastic to see.
Oh, brilliant. I think it's fantastic for the game. Really good to see a great player like him moving into refereeing.
Well, his brother scored the opening try of the game for England. Now Armitage from long range, out near halfway, kick of about 50. Bit of a racket to contend with. He's got right under this, and it's not going to be far away, but it's, in fact, it's away to the right. Distance looked fine, but in fact, it was well away to the right. So the Māori retain their 1-point lead. I think one more try, Justin, for the Māori. I think England might struggle to come back from that, but boy, it's well in the balance.
Yeah, but take note with the score so close, New Zealand Māori, that Dylan Armitage can kick them from a good 50 metres. So they must remember that when they were, are on defence.
Just quickly, Colin Burke and Bronson Murray on the park.
And Colin Burke, Napier boys high on. And now Geraghty looking for a nice in-ball there too for Chris Robshaw, the captain. On the 10-metre mark, Māori territory. Geraghty now moving it wide. Barrett trying to run straight, and McAllister, though, puts him on the ground. Youngs. And ferreting it out again, the replacement halfback Geraghty. Just had to wait for the pass. They've got numbers though away to the right. Although that time, Ward-Smith just looking to drive it ahead, and Young's having a little snipe. Cole's making the tackle. England building. Atwood. Bronson Murray making the tackle. England have got it to the 22. Youngs to Geraghty now. Now it's Dowson. Strong runner is Phil Dowson. England cleaning out effectively. Still haven't got it over the 22. They switch play. Armitage up in the line, putting a little kick ahead into space. Robinson coming across, and he's done well. He's done very well, the young fullback. It was touch and go, but he got it under control on the ground. And Tapuna fires it back, and Brett kicks long downfield, puts it out beyond the 22.
Well done, Stephen Brett. He needed to find touch there. The Maori were under the cosh, but you're absolutely right. Robinson did extremely well then. It was a good chip from Armitage. Recognised the space. It bounced. Look at this. He just nearly gets it as well off the inside of his boot, trying to flick it up to himself because he'd just basically run past the ball.
Isaac Ross in 18 for New Zealand Māori, and also Willie Ripihara in 21. And Tony, was it 1981, New Zealand Māori playing against South Africa? A drop goal was controversial, but part of the issue. Are we going to see one again in 14 minutes or thereabouts?
Well, it was a drop goal that didn't actually go over, Smithy. That was an issue that day. I've never forgotten it here. The 12-all draw, Colin Beck was the man. There have been 2 matches between the Springboks and the Māori here on this ground. Springboks won the first one. That was controversial for a telegram that got sent back to South Africa. Don't need to talk about that. Those times have mercifully gone. But then Colin Beck in 81, yes, the drop kick that missed, but the referee said it had gone over. It was a 12-all draw. No one seemed to mind that much. So will England go for the drop goal? Scored tries in the first half. Isaac Ross trying to infiltrate the England side of the maul. They're able to advance it. And Messon trying to extricate himself. Well, they'll build and they'll try and maybe milk a penalty here. Young moving it on. Haskell, but good tigerish tackling from the New Zealand Māori. England going backwards, but still retaining possession. Now Geraghty looks to stab the kick through and puts it into touch. They'll put the pressure on at line-out time. Taking it quickly. No, line-out had formed.
Quick line-out has been touched by a ball boy.
Oh, in fact, touched by the ball boy.
Touched by a ball boy. You can't take quick line.
Yes, you missed it, Justin, but Hurricane supporters get touchy about that one. You might know what I'm talking about. Game your old team, the Crusaders, involved earlier on this year. But here's Coles from the Hurricanes. Lobbing it down towards the back. Hot competition, but Hoyata has tidied it up. Rookie Tapuna looking set to kick, and he does kick. It's a long kick, high kick, and Maitland is tearing after it, and he's got Ashton. Good tackle made by Maitland. Māori arriving, trying to drive over the top of it. England fetching it out with their hands and trying to scramble it away from the danger zone. Dowson puts the ball on the ground, almost losing it. In fact, the crowd say, and now the call from Bryce Lawrence on the touchline, agreeing, and it'll be a scrum. That's great chasing, great pressure at the breakdown.
Yeah, excellent from Maitland. He did very well then to run down the... It was a good kick from Tapuna too, but you look at Maitland, if you're not watching the ball, you watch him. He does very well. And then he also does extremely well not to give away a penalty. You see him here saying, look, I'm no part of this. I don't want to be anywhere near the ball. He hits well. And subsequently, the Māori now have the ball in a good attacking position and a chance to build to try and get some points.
Well, I need a good scrum. Ben Afiaki will be part of that, but he was also part of that knocking down of the ball, so very instrumental in that. He's had some tough times up front, but here is an opportunity. 13 minutes to go, perfect field position.
It's a shot of McAllister showing his strength. Both McAllister and Sweeney, for me, have played extremely well today. Look at McAllister here. He's also got very good speed. Just unlucky there that the offload wasn't. He's good on defence as well. He's worked tigerishly. He's been really impressive tonight. Unlucky here to be pulled down, but both centres, him and Sweeney, have played extremely well for the Māori.
Well, he's returning to the Luke McAllister that we saw before he went off to the UK. And it's taken a while. He's had a lot of injury problems. It's been difficult settling back, but...
Yeah, for me, though, he's in his best position now.
Yeah,
I think.
New father, too. The little boy's about 8 weeks old, sleeping through the night, he tells me. So that's always a relief, isn't it, Justin?
That'll keep you at home, indeed.
Crouch.
Family, a big part of the reason why he came home, Luke McAllister.
Engage.
But we've just over 10 minutes to go in this game.
Scrum down. We'll do it again.
And tension at scrum time.
Bring it towards me, please.
So you're
Bring
right
it
what you
towards
said
me.
early, TJ, about the
Bring it
scrum. The
towards
Maori
me.
just need to get a quick hit, the ball to the back of the scrum and release it as soon as possible.
Okay. Whoa.
And you can see there Dan Cole with a butte shiner from the test in Sydney. Apparently, flight attendant on the plane coming over from Sydney got a heck of a fright when she saw him, but
I'm sure it was worth it though, wasn't it?
That's a medal of honour, that is.
It is indeed.
Tremendous performance from Cole in the 2 tests against Australia. What can they do now to disrupt the Maori ball?
Touch. Gentlemen, both hookers, just come with me, please.
What, hookers and gentlemen in the same sentence, Justin?
The
They'll be pleased about that.
cadence hasn't changed during the game, and it will remain the same. Trust that call. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, Dane Cole's paying full attention.
Yeah, I was just going to say, they had absolutely no idea about what he was saying because they weren't interested.
Yeah, right, yeah. You're finished now, can we get back to it?
Yep, timer's on.
Well, England are worried that the Māori are time wasting.
Crotch.
The pot and kettle there.
Touch. Pause. Engage.
England trying to put the squeeze on, but Burke's got it away off the back. Colin Burke, good strong run.
6 wide.
They've got it to Tipuna. Well, all bunched up. Now the Māori are trying to milk a penalty. Calls of offside. They get it back, and an attempted drop kick from Willie Ripia with his favoured left boot, but nowhere near it. Well, the complexion of the game's changed. First half, every scrap of ball they got, they ran it like the wind. Now just looking for anything to try and stretch that gap. Geraghty, rather wobbly restart, or brilliantly taken by Ross, showing the skills that we know he's got. Tipuna, off it goes now, and getting a bit tangled up in midfield, but Dane Coles emerges with the ball. About 30 metres out, numbers away to the right. Off it goes. Ben Afiaki moves it on to Ross. Isaac Ross stretching those long legs. He's only 10 metres from the line. Out it goes now to McAllister. Messam now. Cole's trying to stab a kick through. And they'll come back for a penalty.
6. Mark, yeah.
Well, the whole Maori bench went up as soon as that ball was recycled because England were definitely offside. He's got number 6. And I would imagine that Dane Coles was saying that he heard the call when he tried to put that little kick in behind.
Well, Willie Ripia, who kicked a crucial penalty. This was good from Ross. This is what he's best at, just advancing the ball. Good skills he showed, and look at England. Oh yeah,
They're all have never got back, have they?
Yeah,
ball was too quick.
It was Dan Cole, I think, might have been leading the offside line.
How about the no-look pass from Ben Afiaki? That was a feature too. He knocks us over. This is very important. It looks very simple, but it's very important. It takes them outside the range of the drop goal, the penalty equation. England may have to score a 5-pointer.
Willie Ripia doesn't flinch. And now it's a 32-28 scoreline, and England need more than a penalty. They need more than 3. Are we in for another famous victory? Hoiata reacts nicely to the element of surprise kick there. Rookie Tipuna manages to offload it, and Maitland. Well, that's really diligent work from Maitland, just to get in amongst them and help them out. Back it goes, and Ripia will just slam it. Although he slipped as he kicked the ball away, didn't get any power on the kick, and Geraghty's back to field it. He goes looking for some space, boots it all. Oh, he's got too much on that, has he? No. Maitland took it in close to the touchline. Off he goes, spotted a couple of forwards, and so he set sail into midfield. And it's there for rookie Tipuna. Willie Ripia, this time putting a chip ahead. McAllister's got it. Puts another kick in. Gears after it. Bit of pushing and shoving. And getting across and saving England for the moment is David Strettle. There was a bit off the ball there.
And they've won a penalty.
And they've got a penalty. Well, it's stupid play from England. He did so of the ball, and now the Māori have a penalty, and this could just tie up the game for them.
Well, Justin, I was yelling to him, look right, McAllister.
Yes, so was I, but I think there was a player that maybe just got in between, and the more that McAllister ran, the more the English players seemed to just get in between those two support players on the inside, Smithy. In the end, he opted for the outside kick. Look at this from Reapy, it's beautiful. McAllister, he's got, I think it's Reapy on the inside as well, and Dane Cole. But it's Armitage who's moved to the wing because Foden's come on, showed good speed to block him from getting to the ball, but brilliant from the Māori. They're so exciting when they just decide to play what they see in front of them.
Well, you can't blame Strattler. The great man Waka Nathan looks on. Boy, what a proud moment this could be. Willie Ripia has to keep his nerve. There's still 5 minutes to play. You can't blame Strattler for not wanting to give the ball up. But he's given away a penalty. And this could make it a 7-point lead. He's just slid it inside the left-hand upright. Oh, excitement now. This ground is abuzz. Just 4 and a bit minutes away, but England will come back at them, you can bet. And here they are. They get it back from the kickoff. And it's Dan Cole who drives it ahead. Moment of magic from Ben Youngs or Chris Ashton. Who knows, could steal the game, take it out of the fire, but the Māori looking to defend as Armitage is barreled to the ground. Well, he was cutting them up in the first half, no way through that time. Garrity now flings the ball wide, but too many forwards out there. Dan Cole, although he's made good progress, the big fellow. Well, now's the time, they call it D'ing up. Well, that's not a great pass, and Barrett gets castled and flung to the ground by Willie Ripia. They're back on halfway now, looking to get the ball wide to Armitage, and just clatters straight into Maitland. Arm out, penalty, they're offside.
So now what?
Well, they've got to go for the try, surely.
You'd think so. They still have time.
They need to kick the corner and drive, but the drive hasn't been that great.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, he's blown it. He has butchered it. England not happy with the call. Bryce Lawrence was on the spot. Let's have a look at it. This is a huge call, this.
Shaky on the kick, did you say, Justin Moore? Gosh.
Yes, absolutely, and it was dead.
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah,
this will tell us for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see that the corner post and the ball disappears on the wrong side of it for Garrity.
Exactly, it passed on the inside of the corner post. So I'm sorry, fellas, but Garrity has overcooked. And now this amazing, almost not silence, but just a buzz around the crowd as they know that the Māori are just 2.5 minutes away. It is tense.
Yeah, it is. It's exactly what it is. It's a exciting anxiety, isn't it? It's like very difficult to describe what it feels like here. Everybody just willing the Māori forward, you know?
Well, either way,
great game.
To say it now before the game is even decided, this has been a great game of rugby.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Nice one to start off with at home, Justin.
Absolutely. Real pleasure.
Back, Colin Burke muscles it away. England looking for it. Māori have it, though. They'll need the numbers there, though.
Push back wide, 17. No,
Rookie Tapuna goes in. He's done a tidy job since coming on, as he did last week. Back it goes to Ripia, and he smashes it into the air. Coming forward to take it, and taking it well too brilliantly is Foden. He's broken them open. Ben Foden puts the kick ahead, and that's going to go too far as well. Well, he did it so well, but he just put too much on the kick. Armitage was after it. But Usain Bolt wouldn't have pulled that one in.
Wow.
22.
So exciting. It was a really good kick from Ripia, but we mentioned earlier, you watch Foden here. He's absolutely brilliant on the counter-attack. You say 10s can't tackle? No, I did. Watch Ripia. bang,
Right, no way
in he
to go.
goes and cuts him off. When you get hit like that, it's hard to put your kick on a dime.
But again, Ripia, like Stephen Brett, a player with no great reputation for tackling, and look what he's been doing in this series. Well, they've got it straddled. Well, he runs into a dead-end street there, and they're a long, long way from where they need to be, England. They'll try and run it out. We're into the last minute. Glory awaits the New Zealand Māori again, and look at the... Oh, no penalty.
Go back. On your feet.
Well,
on your feet.
they've got 30 seconds. Youngs, one of the heroes of Sydney, gets it away. No way through for Dan Ward-Smith. They're 60 metres away from the goal line. The captain, Rob Shaw, still inside their own half. Geraghty now. Siren goes. Strettle gets the pass away. Foden taken. They're about 12 metres inside the half. England trying to snatch a draw. Māori hanging on to it for all it's worth as Haskell drives ahead. Geraghty now just hesitated, fired it back in field. Ashton, he could split them open too. Just out from the 22. Desperation time now. Foden, they know to wrap him up. Didn't hold him in the tackle. Oh, great work from Foden. England's throwing everything at them. On it goes, Haskell. They batted on, Geraghty. Now scooped up wide. Here's the chance for Ward-Smith. Close to the touchline, but not out. 8 metres from the line, England. They come again. Geraghty.
Good tackle.
Hard in the tackle by McAllister.
Great tackle.
They've done it again. A brilliant victory. A wonderful match.
Fantastic game of rugby. Commiserations obviously to England because they contributed, but as you said, TJ, they've done it again. Let the pictures speak. Fantastic result for the Māori. No doubt that they've made this 100th-year celebration very proud by tonight's efforts and their efforts in the series. They thoroughly deserved the win and the way they performed tonight.